Our feature will resume in a moment. But first, this message.
Hi, friends. Louie Ballou, owner, general manager, Louie's A1 Used Cars, right downtown, just 2 blocks off the freeway with the best deals in town. Take a look at this little beauty, a 69 Chevy, license YSCO27, radio, heater, economy mileage. Blue Book says $12.50 for this car. At Louie's, you can drive it away for $995. How about an extra car for the wife? Here's just the thing, a 65 Pontiac Le Mans. It's got tires, headlights, brakes, and windshield wipers. Plenty of trunk space. Blue Book says up to $1,500 for this car, but at Louie's, we throw the Blue Book away, and you can have it for $195. You're a little short. You see that? It's typical. That's the trouble with things these days. They don't last. You talk about TVs, you talk about anything. Cars. You're looking for exceptional value in a fine quality used car these days, I got one word for you. Watch out. Oh, you think I'm going to try and sell you one of these cars? Not me. I'm just going to clue you in on a couple of facts. They're straight dope. I get a lot of people say to me, Louie, how do you stay within the family budget and still find exceptional value? I tell them, you got me, Jack. The trouble with cars, the same trouble with everything else these days. They don't last. You take your highways and byways. You see any automobiles more than 5, 6 years old? Are you kidding? You drive a car a couple of years, it breaks down. Most cars start out looking like this, but pretty soon they look like this. People ask me, they say, Louie, what is the reason for this condition? How come things don't last like they used to? I tell them the reason is fashion. That's right, style. It means crazy. Fashion is why people, who are most of the time very intelligent, are willing to throw away perfectly good merchandise and buy new. So their stuff ain't built to last in the first place. The way fashion works is very simple. Whatever you're wearing, they tell you it's no good. You gotta buy something new. You got a wide tie? They tell you skinny ties are in. You can't win. The faster you buy a tie, the faster it goes out of style. It's crazier than a can of jungle juice. You don't believe? Take a look. How come anybody's willing to get caught in those crazy duds? And with cars, it's the same thing. Everybody's waiting for the new styles to come out. What's the new dash going to be? The new front end. It don't make no difference. But come September, everybody's itching to buy. And it's precisely this type of behavior that makes your car and my car go out of style. Makes the value depreciate. Makes it hard for a guy like me to move these babies, quality automobiles, and nobody wants them. So what happens to them? Look. And furniture goes out of style. Houses. Even huge buildings. Everything goes out of style. And the guys that make the stuff are wise to this. They know as soon as a guy buys one thing, he starts to want a new one. So there ain't no point in building the first one, so it's going to last. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here on the left, we got a brand new car battery. Stores electricity. You use it in your car, it's going to last, what, a couple of years? But then it gets corroded and cracked, like brand X here. And it's shot. Kaput. You throw it away. Now, on the other hand, the car makers could give you this model. A top-flight quality battery, and it don't wear out. guaranteed for the life of the automobile. So how come they don't install these honeys on all the new cars? Because they cost a little more money. And the car manufacturers figure you'd rather spend your dough on peekaboo headlights and snappy two-tone paint jobs. So they skip on the battery, and it goes on the fritz. Now, with an automobile, the battery is just one of millions of things that can go wrong. But the whole car don't conk out, just part of it. The crank, the trans, the valve casings, but you scrap the whole banana. Not just the body and the engine, but your beautiful paint job, and also many other fine features like AM, FM, power steering, power brakes, factory air, etc., most of which are in perfectly operating condition. That's the way it works. The guys that make the merchandise want just part of it to break down, so you junk the whole Megillah and buy more. To me, this makes no sense. And I ain't just talking about automobiles. Look, if the guys who made all this stuff had their way, this huge bulldozer would come along every 5 years or so and scrape up all the old stuff. Shove it all in a big meat grinder where it gets ground into new stuff, and you pay to get it back. But sometimes it takes too long for a thing to wear out or go out of style. The manufacturer can't wait that long, so they invented something else, the gimmick. You take a simple thing like a razor. For shaving, the edge on this blade is the thing you're interested in. The whole rest of this thing is 24-karat solid gimmick. Look, razors started out like this. You got a blade, you use it. It gets dull, you sharpen it up, you use it again. And then they sell you a safety razor with throwaway blades. All right, I can see the point. You don't want to slice off your ear. Then come stainless steel blades. Okay, maybe you get a couple extra shaves out of them, and they don't get stained. Then come blue blades. Ain't no better, just blue. Then come the real gimmicks. You got band blades, bonded blades, cartridge blades, double-edged blades, injector blades, chromium blades, platinum blades. All of these blades fit different. And each new kind of blade, you gotta get a new kind of razor. And I ain't even gonna start in on the electric razors. In a couple of years, you got 5 different kinds of razors. You're spending 10 times as much for the same old shave. But razors are cheap items. Let me tell you about an expensive item, the camera. The camera racket's got more gimmicks than Carter's got pills. You start out with a Brownie. Takes pretty good snapshots. But then color comes out, the film gets smaller, you need a new camera. Polaroid film, another new camera. Flash, another new camera. Use small film, new pocket camera. Pop-out Polaroid, new camera. You get the picture. But razors and cameras are just the beginning. Take a look. Gimmicks on parade. You'll notice they don't gimmick up an old reliable like the Acme plumber's helper. But listen, I ain't saying that every new item that comes out is a gimmick. Don't get me wrong, Louie Ballou does not stand in the way of progress. What I'm saying is that everybody's got to decide for himself, that which is gimmick and that which ain't. Now myself personally, I couldn't get by without my electric brush. But it's like in the automobile business. The customer gets what he pays for. You buy gimmick, you get gimmick. You buy fashion, you get fashion. The trouble for me is, the more the fashions change, the harder it is to move these sweeties. And so I get stuck, and you get stuck, and the guy who sold this car new is doing the hoochie-coochie all the way to the bank. So I get a lot of people ask me, Louie, what can we do about this situation? And I tell them, plenty. And it ain't none of this write your congressman jazz, neither. I got the answer right here in my pocket. A singleton, a buck. This works. It works simple. All you gotta do, don't buy. Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, back in the late 50s, the car manufacturers decided to really take the public for a ride. One of the automotive features that became fashionable was the taillight. Taillights got huge. They got so huge they wouldn't fit on the backs of cars anymore. So the designers came up with a gimmick way to stick a huge taillight on a car's rear end. It was called a fin. The fins got bigger and bigger until downtown traffic looked like a school of sharks. Detroit thought these cars would go a long way, but the guy with the buck said phooey. People stopped buying, and ever since, automotive design has been a little less crazy. All of which shows the power of the guy who refuses to fall for a sucker deal. Now, I ain't saying you gotta be a tightwad. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying spend. But you buy something cheap and cheesy, you're gonna have to throw it away and buy a new one. So show a little class. Buy a nice conservative tie. Find the kind of car you can keep for a few years. You buy all this crazy jazz, you're the one creating the obsolescence. It's only around because you support it. You want to be that crazy, it's your prerogative. It's a free country. Just don't never say, Louie didn't warn you. Look, all you got to remember is, don't buy nothing that's going to wear out. Don't buy no gimmicks. Don't buy no crazy fashions. Look for the quality item. The one that's going to last. And tell them Louie sent you. So long. See you in the funny papers.
You're looking for a quality car, a real shooby-dooby. No need for shopping all over town. Go see Louie.
That's right, friends. For exceptional value, the place to go is Louie's A1 Used Cars. We're open weeknights till 9, Sundays and holidays till midnight, and on a good night even later. So come on down to Louie's A1 Used Cars, where every deal is a steal.
Now drive on down to Louie's lot. He will show you what he's got. He'll make a deal right on the spot. Go see Louie.